Republican rejection leads us to a decision. And it's not really a decision, it's a Hobson's choice. Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. This, in my view, is no choice at all. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan. It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. And before I explain why, let me be clear about one thing. No one on my side of the aisle wants a government shutdown. Members who support this CR do not want a government shutdown. Members who oppose this CR do not want a government shutdown.
Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown.
But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
Yes, there are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government, to join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are simply trying
yes?
to... So yes, look, if we have to take steps.
14 days from now, government shutdown is looming.
If we don't believe that we have a willing partner on the other side, then we need to stay united and not bail out President Trump.
And yet, at the same time, in order for a lot of voters to fully understand what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing, people are unfortunately going to have to feel some of that. And the only way that that happens is if the shutdown happens.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I told you, something got to break. Something got to break. And it's been one big clown show, man. And these Democrats had to be ashamed of themselves, man. Well, let's get into it, family. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, join the family. And it's getting real. Oh, yes, indeed.
Friday at midnight to fund the government. Republicans need at least 8 Senate Democrats to back their bill, and right now they've only got one, that is John Fetterman. The GOP accusing Democrats of political gamesmanship.
The threat of government shutdown, they're using it as some sort of attempt to wrestle power away from the President of the United States?
Americans will witness them attempt to shut the government down. And if a shutdown happens, the Democrats will own it.
This wild, reckless, far-left, progressive Democrat Party of today, they don't represent the American people. They're fighting against the will of the American people.
So as of now, Senate Democrats are not budging. They say Republicans drafted the bill without any of their input, despite not having the votes to pass it on their own. That is a far cry from about a year and a half ago when Democrats called shutdowns a non-starter. Watch.
The last thing the American people want to see is another unnecessary and painful government shutdown. Democrats certainly don't want to have a shutdown. And many of our Republican colleagues have likewise claimed they don't want to see one either.
Chad Program is on Capitol Hill with more. Hi, Chad.
Dana, good morning. A government shutdown could hinge on whether Democrats are willing to break a filibuster on the GOP's stopgap spending bill. Democrats say they want to vote on their own interim plan, which would fund the government through the middle of April.
I want to vote on the 30-day CR. I think it's 28. Okay. The 1 month CR. That's what I want to vote on.
But would you vote for cloture to get on to a debate?
I haven't made a decision about that. I have not made a decision.
Senator, for the
Pennsylvania's John Fetterman is the only Democrat willing to publicly support the GOP plan, and there's at least one Republican who is opposed to the GOP bill.
What y'all got to say about Mr. Hoodie now? Let me know. Let me know how y'all still feel about Mr. Hoodie, Mr. Basketball Shorts, Mr. Tennis Shoes. Yeah. How do you feel about Mr. Hoodie? Mr. Fetterman has been getting a lot of mixed emotions. He's been getting a lot of backlash, a lot of love, a lot of hate, a lot of mixed feelings. How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comment section. You know?
If you vote for this spending package, I think you're essentially voting for a spending pattern that will lead to a $2 trillion deficit. So I'm not for a $2 trillion deficit, so I won't vote for this.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Republicans lack the votes to terminate a filibuster on their own plan. Republicans need Democrats to help. That's why the GOP is ready to blame them if the government shuts down.
Now the ball is in Senate Democrats' court. Do they want to shut down the government, or do they want to keep it open and funded for the American people who need this government to continue moving, to continue building on the momentum President Trump has created? It's up to them.
They need 60 votes to end the filibuster. With Paul voting no, they need at least 8 Democrats to crack the filibuster. Republicans could pass the bill with a simple majority. And hey, it's only Thursday. Sometimes they resolve these issues at the very last minute. Dana?
Especially when they haven't had a recess, and they very much want.
They have not been out this calendar year, and there have also been weekend sessions. So this will be decided by the most powerful people in Washington.
Yeah, maybe by the time that we get to the 5. Thanks, Chad.
If this is a shutdown, it'll be the Schumer shutdown. This is completely on the hands of the Democrats. And we want to make sure that we keep government moving to deliver on the mandate that the American people gave President Trump and help him get his agenda done.
So Republicans going after Senate Democrats, blasting them for not getting on board with a bill to avert a government shutdown, which the clock's moving on this, about 36 hours now. Faz Shakir, former Bernie Sanders campaign manager. Faz, welcome back here. Don't yell at me like John Larson, okay? We'll just keep it between us, all right?
We'll keep it civil.
Fetterman's not on board. The Democrat from Pennsylvania. Roll this, number 1 here from the Hill on Wednesday.
I'm going to vote yes for that. And my concern is it's a choice. It's like withholding your vote, and not, vote no, and shut down the government if we don't have the votes for cloture. You are voting to shut the government down, and that will absolutely punish millions of Americans. I've described it. It's like, burning down the village to save it.
Okay, so you need 6 others because Rand Paul says he's a no, but Fetterman's a yes on that. Give me call for number 2, guys. This is Quinnipiac on approval of Congress. Democrats at 21%. That's the all-time low, according to Quinnipiac. Republicans at 40%. I don't know. You want to shut it down, Faz? Is that the right move?
I'm comfortable with it. Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I mean, the Democratic Party needs to have a governing demands. What do you want to have happen here? And, of course, the problem now is they don't have any demands. I would have a demand, say, hey, there's going to be 0 Social Security office closures in America. There will be no veterans clinics being closed by Elon Musk. When we give money to Social Security, Medicare, they are not going to be shut down by an unelected guy who just at a whim presses delete on a spreadsheet. That's a demand of a Democrat. That's a demand of Congress to say, no, bus doesn't work for Donald Trump. He works for Congress has to work for people in which you determine where funding goes and ensure that it is delivered.
Faz, just to add on that, so Hub Project, you familiar with that? That's a Democratic nonprofit.
I've heard of it. Yes,
okay,
I've heard of it.
So they came, a Politico piece from the other day, right? A majority of voters in battleground House districts still believe Democrats care more about themselves than people like them. And they this is a Democratic group now. Among independents, only 27% believe Democrats are focused on helping them, compared with 55% who believe they're more focused on helping others. Those aren't good numbers. I don't know where you find a target to shut this down. I mean, is that how you draw attention to it? We'll see. But you work for Bernie Sanders. Sanders is out there telling us the sky's falling. Watch here.
These are, the scariest times in my lifetime. That's all. I mean, I think that's objectively the truth. He is now trying to end what the founding fathers were pretty smart about, creating a form of government where there were checks and balances, a legislative body, an executive body, and a judiciary. So he is moving aggressively in all of these areas. Yeah, there was gravity in my voice. This is a scary moment.
I mean, hyperbole to the side. Maybe some of what they're doing will make government better in the end.
I would hope so. We all root for that, Bill. I want that to happen. And to understand Bernie, who I love and trust and respect, he's always been focused on not left versus right, but top versus bottom. This is a big moment of top versus bottom. He is concerned about rule of the rich, of a greed and a hubris, of very wealthy people who say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if our Social Security office closes. It doesn't matter if we cut Medicaid by a ton. It doesn't matter if we shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tomorrow. It doesn't matter if we fire Park Service Rangers. It doesn't matter. Government, privatize a lot of this. That's the hubris at the top, and that's what angers him. And I am moved by that, right? This is government works for people, not by the rule by the rich.
So I encourage you to check out James Carville's piece at foxnews.com. He says too many Democrats are losing their minds over Trump. It doesn't have to be this way. Carville, he's kind of changing gears all the time. I mean, at one point he's like, get up and fight. Other time he's like, play dad. Play
dad.
Exactly.
I mean,
man.
Fans, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll see what